just thought I would come on and talk about anything really. I just wanted to do some close-up whispers because I haven't been doing too many of these close-up ones. So I have my iced coffee here. The ice is starting to melt. So it won't be good for like a lot more long. I can't speak English apparently. It won't be good for a long time. It won't be good for much more time actually. Because once that ice starts to melt, the whole flavor changes. I have had it for a few hours, so it isn't really the iced coffee's fault per se. I figured I would just ramble about anything. So I'm in my bed again, mostly because my back is acting up for no reason. I didn't work last night. There's no reason for my back to be acting up, but sometimes it does this. So I plan on doing a short gum chewing. I did like a 10-minute dark lighting close-up whispers with gum chewing. A lot of people ask for me not to do the dark lighting again, so I'll change that. Also, I don't mind doing like just the gum chewing. The gum chewing and maybe the spoolie. That'll be probably a short. And then I also have like some things in the works. I'll always do whisper rambles in my car, whisper rambles in my bed, whisper rambles in the living room. That's always going to be a thing. Whispering is of course my favorite ASMR trigger. That's what I listen to the most. And I think I've already told you guys, I can talk a little bit about ASMR channels while I'm here today. And some TV stuff since I didn't have a plan. I mean, that's never a bad idea, right? It's always good to get recommendations or even just to be, in agreement with something I'm saying. I recommended the show The Pit on Max in one of my last videos. I started watching Matlock. It's got Kathy Bates. I think I'm saying her name right. Yeah, from Misery. She's plays an older woman that's a lawyer, and I think it's not like you think. I thought it was gonna be like she just is like the female Matlock, and they pretend like the original Matlock never existed, but she references the old TV show. Anyway, it's good enough. It's got my attention. I'm on episode 4, I think, episode 3 or 4, because I was having trouble getting into anything, and I hate when that happens because I really like it, but my attention kind of has to be grabbed, or I'll stop halfway through. I'm really excited that You is coming back next week, and I always loved You. You is the thriller, the drama series on Netflix, if you're not aware. Sorry, I feel like I have a little bit of because I took some sips of iced coffee. Okay, I don't want extra sounds, because it's bad enough that the close-up whispers and the breathing in the mic. Okay, so, I did not like the season in England. It wasn't because it was in England, I had no problem with that part, but I could not get into it. It was like what I've learned about myself with shows is that if I cannot get into the character, if I cannot care about the character, or even hate the character for that matter, if there cannot be some sort of significant emotional connection to the character, then I can't really lock into the show. So I found that season to be honestly very boring, to the point where I know there was a murder, and that's terrible. The man that was killed, I'm not saying that's the only part of that whole series. I think was when the body was found, and the woman said something like, "Did you leave a body in my dining room?" or something like that. She says, I thought it still had promise at that point, and I was still looking forward to where they were going with it, but it lost its allure, and I couldn't even finish it. The same thing happened with what is the name of the show? See, now I got, because I wasn't planning on doing this, I was that's on Netflix. It has a few seasons, and the main star goes by like Maddie, and I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me hopefully before the end of the video, but that's another one where it started sweet, and it was like that small town sweet, like almost a Hallmark vibe, and now it's so boring, I just can't watch it. Like, I don't mean to be like that, because I still love Virgin River, which also has that kind of a feel, but I don't know what it was. I'll think of the name of it before we finish. You probably, so sorry. I apologize for that. Okay. It's just because I have the camera stand, and anything bumping it it's just not completely stable. And usually this setup is fine, but today it's going to be challenging. Hopefully I can prevent that from happening again. I'm trying to sit back so that my back can get some support, because apparently it needs it today. Okay. Let's see, what else is there? So yeah, I said I started watching Matlock. I'm looking forward to You. I started The Gardener on Netflix, but I didn't even give it a chance. I can honestly tell you that there's nothing wrong. I can't say there's anything wrong with this show, because I watched it for 5 minutes and was like, I'm not drawn in. It didn't draw me in. It's not fair. You've got to give something longer than that. And then like Snow Girl, I really wanted to get into that, but I can't seem to watch it. Like, I'm just like, I don't feel like watching it. I don't feel like trying to see if that's going to be something I want to watch. Glass Dome on Netflix is like a criminologist teams up with somebody for like a missing girl case. It's like right up my interest alley. But I couldn't start it. I don't know. I was like, nah, it's gonna take too much effort to pay attention. So Matlock was kind of perfect because it took less attention, but it's entertaining. And I'll go back and try those other ones. I think there's like a heist movie. Maybe it's a movie or a show, I can't remember, that came out today on Netflix, I think, because today's the 18th. So I think that came out. Let's see. How about, I'm trying to think of some of the shows that I was going to recommend. The shows that I liked, like I mentioned in one of my other videos that I loved, Rescue High Surf on Fox/Hulu. I'm kind of sad that Fox is still not renewed it for a second season, because granted, it's not like high level acting, but it's not supposed to be, and the characters have development. Like, the characters have good enough development that I've like fallen in love with all of the characters. So obviously there's good acting, because that doesn't happen otherwise. But let's see what else lost my train of thought. Sorry. So I wanted to practice these up close whispers. I'm gonna try to also in this video do some slower up close ones too, because I know I whisper fast. Again, my brain, it moves fast, so I talk fast and therefore whisper fast. I slept from like 1 a.m. I'd say like 1 a.m. to almost 10, but I woke up some, and then I didn't get out of bed until after 11 to get iced coffee, and I was supposed to do schoolwork, which I still haven't done. So the schoolwork I'll be working on later today, because I'm off tonight, but I do work tomorrow night, so that the timeline is very strict for me right now, and it's not usually. And when you add in this exhaustion and low motivation, it's like a recipe for disaster, because I don't want to mess up my grade in a brand new class, you know what I mean? This is online. It's for my nursing master's degree. So I need to get that done and turned in. Maybe watch some more of the Matlock later after keyword here, after doing the schoolwork assignments. Also, I have schoolwork due on Sunday. Now I am off Sunday, but I had planned on sleeping during the day after work, going to visit my cousin for Easter. But I guess in the evening Sunday I'll be doing more schoolwork. I suppose that's what it's looking like. Okay, let's see. I plan to do, see today I was hoping the energy would come back, but it's like not, for multiple reasons. And so my other cousin agreed for payment to assist me in some chores, and also to do my car cleaning. Like he's gonna basically do like a little car detail for me back at their place. So I was gonna go pick him up. He comes here, we do a few chores here. I take him back, put my car hopefully in their driveway, and he can do the cleaning there. And in the meantime, I can visit with his sister, my other cousin. So that was the plan, but I also need to buy trash cans today. These little things, I'm telling you, they seem so little, but I hate chores. And I will avoid chores, and I will procrastinate. And it's already, I think, 2 o'clock. And I was planning to go get him at 2 o'clock. So I'm already feeling kind of behind, even though it's my own timetable. Because of the school stuff and because of the exhaustion, I didn't want to come back and be like, oh, now I need a nap. Because the school stuff is going to have to be done. Because my plan for Saturday was to just sleep in completely. Excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of this so I don't start coughing. Sorry, guys. I have this thing with this like chronic post-nasal, and my eyes are already watering, and the talking can sometimes make it worse. That's what I was afraid of at the dentist when they shoved that device, that the root canal dental dam. I'm like, and then they lay you back, and I'm like, you know, it's one thing to be anxious, but now I got the tickling in my throat. What am I supposed to do? That is still scheduled. I still have that to look forward to. Oh joy. Okay. Anyway, back on topic. I was gonna say that so I was gonna visit with her. Try not to complain. I'm being funny when I say that, but something about my low energy, low motivation, and the motivation is just because the energy's low. It's like all I want to do is complain that I haven't won the lottery. Just because I'm like, I just don't want to think about to-do listing. I don't want to think about stuff that has to get done. I'm kind of in the mode for a staycation. I'm not even in the mood to travel. I'm in the mood to be like, oh, I took the next 6-7 days off, maybe even 8-9, and I'm just gonna stay home. And yes, some chores will get done, and some, what other people might call wasteful. I'll sleep. I'll rest. I'll watch shows. I'll journal. I'll do my spiritual classes. I'll visit my cousin. I'll hang out with my daughter. Hang out with my cousin's dogs. Hang out with my cats. See my dad and stepmom. But mostly just have no you don't want to move too far away from work. I don't want to have to be hiring a pet sitter because I work these 12-hour shifts, you know. But then there's another part of me that's, I guess I'm a little conflicted because the other part of me is like, well, just rent and then just take like take a travel nursing job. They're not paying as much these days, of course, but they still pay more than a regular nursing job. That way you get to live somewhere else. You know, it would have to be in psychiatric nursing because that's my specialty. And it would have to be a compact state, so I don't get to go to my favorite. I want to go to California, Hawaii, Alaska, all of which are not compact states. So you gotta pay a lot of fees and I guess fill out a lot of stuff to get a nursing license in those states. I would probably do it to go back and live on the islands for a bit, or even in the cold in Alaska. I would probably do it. But there's this need inside, like in me, because not to get too personal, but I share a lot in these rambles, so whatever. I grew up without a lot of like foundation. I mean, I did live in the same house for a good bit of years, but let's just call childhood chaotic and leave it at that. So would that be tragedy and then chaos? But there was also good. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was definitely good. But it left this weird, like, longing for foundation. And I kind of did the exact opposite. I have literally moved in my adult life from the age of 17. Moved out at 17. And from 17 to 44, I think I've moved like 15 times, if not more. I lived with my actual cousin for 5 years. When I redid my career, went back to nursing school. And I lived, when I went through my divorce, I lived with this random wealthy woman in Olney, Maryland, and rented her basement. When I was 17, I rented a single father who was a truck driver and never home. I rented his attic. When I was married, we rented a really nice townhouse. We were in, I think, 2 separate townhouses and an apartment. When I got divorced, I got my own apartment. I was proud of that, and I am so good at taking care of myself and my daughter when needed, and my pets. But, you know, it's hard to know what the right answer is, because what I think I truly want seems blocked by the way things are right now. Like, for example, I think I just want a small, cozy home that is local to the area I'm in, because my parents are elderly and they're still here. My cousin's still here. My job is still here, and I like this job. And I just want it to be permanent. And I want a privacy fence. And I want a dog or 2. Maybe a bird. I can wait on the bird. And, you know, when I meet someone, I meet them. And if I don't, I don't. It's not my number one goal. But those other things are actually important to me. So there are things that have to kind of shift, because right now, you know, these houses are overpriced. It's kind of like if you went to buy like this iced coffee, and maybe you're used to paying $5 for it, which is a lot. But now all of a sudden it's $11. It seems ludicrous. You know what I mean? You're gonna actually go make it at home at that point, because even once a month that feels ludicrous. So that's kind of how I feel about the housing market. I feel very negative about it. But at the same time, I don't think you can miss out on what's for you. I don't think you can miss out on what's for you. I truly believe that. So, I just want to breathe in the mic. I don't think you can miss out on what's meant for you. I do think life is happening for you and not to you. As you know from some of my other videos, I have deep spiritual beliefs, but I don't always act from them, because it feels like I'm kind of separate and alone and, you know, on my own and struggling, and money's a difficult topic for me, and it just feels like a miracle needs to shift the whole thing. And that's frustrating. It's frustrating to be in that spot. But I do believe that I'll have a house and that I'll have dogs. Actually, somebody, this psychic, I actually really like her. Her name is Mary. Her name is Mary Rose Ogino. Her name is Mary Rose Ogino. She wrote a book years ago called Signs of the Dove, I believe. And, you know, I didn't believe in mediums back then, but I had a major loss. And so I called a radio station, and it was like, I couldn't afford a medium reading back then. But they were doing 5-minute free readings on the radio. And I was like the last one she took. And the only information tell she was a cat. She really didn't behave like a typical cat. So I look forward to those things being potentialities. That would be very nice. Let me mix this. This keeps sliding. Okay, I'm gonna try not to drop it. I know I'm all over the place, but apparently this is what's on my mind today. I think this low energy is causing me to think lower thoughts, which is annoying because I know there are ways out of that. You know, you can get physical, get up and do something, which is what I'm about to do. When I finish this, I'm about to go do the stuff, the chores with my cousin, and hope for the best. And try not to be complaining today because there's nothing really to complain about. You know, you're alive, you're blessed, your family is safe. These energy things, especially if it's medication related, will fade. It's just temporary. It's not permanent, and I know that. And I complain about having to work, but I like my job. You know, as nursing goes, it's a great nursing job. I'm very, very blessed. It's hard at times and honestly terrifying and challenging at times as well. So, but I do for a nursing job, especially an inpatient psychiatric nursing job. It is a great job, and I am grateful for it. I'm grateful that I work with people that are very team-oriented as well. I work with people that will step in and help you, and we look out for each other, and we help each other, so I'm spoiled in that way. And if I went to do travel nursing, it may be very hard for me to work on a unit where people are not team-oriented in an environment such as this, where you really need to look out for each other, and you should be team-oriented, I think. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up with some ASMR channels that I've probably already recommended in one of my shorts, but I'll do it again. Not necessarily recommending, because some of these don't even need recommendation. You're probably already following them or you know who they are, but I don't have a list, so I'll probably forget something. Or I'll forget somebody's name. My favorite two channels, like So Soft ASMR was kind of my first channel that I really got into when I got into ASMR as a thing, you know, because I always was into the whispering. Many years ago, I didn't understand what it was, and I would even have the sensation in my scalp and my ears when people would talk to me in person, voice. Like, I don't know why my brain can't think of the term for it, but I don't know. This is how tired I am that my brain can't find regular English words that I know. But like that low voice, there are certain people that can pull that off, and it's still relaxing. And I would listen to it if I was anxious, but I probably wouldn't listen to it for tingles in my scalp or ears or for sleep. I like the actual whisper voice. And I like all the whispers. Like, I'm a big fan to listen to clicky whispers, a big fan of breathy whispers. I like it when it's louder. Like, there's a couple channels that I actually like are so, they breathe into the mic, they whisper really loud. And some people don't like that, but I like it. Like, it gets my attention. It helped me at the dentist. So, it's not a whole lot of stuff that I don't like. I'm also going to probably try to do the ASMR thunderstorm as a short. Just because I think it sounds cool, and I've watched a few people do it. And I just want to, because I think it sounds cool, and I want to see how it will sound. So, I know I didn't talk slow, but I did talk up close. So you get an up close whisper ramble. Alright, have a good rest of your Friday. I will see you next time in the gum chewing, or this video, or the thunderstorm short, or maybe I'll probably put my press-on nails on and do some scratching too. I'm just a little disappointed that my gift to myself, my new mic cover that I got off Etsy, it's so cute, and I've used it in a couple videos, but it's way too heavy for any of the microphones, so it just pulls the whole microphone down. So you have to scratch with one hand and hold with the other hand, otherwise it'll make a horrible sound because it'll pull the microphone, over. So it would be nice if it could just stay steady, so I could just scratch both sides, because it's a very nice the decor on that cover is very nice for scratching. It's just very nice for scratching, the decor. Anyway, send me more requests. I'll put them on my list. If I missed one, remind me. I do have a grocery haul that's been pushed back a little bit just because it is low energy, because it takes a little bit more prep and I want to have my nails on.